According to Sports Pro, Caitlin Clark is the fourth most marketable athlete in the world. Yeah, not just female athlete, not just in the United States, but in the entire world.
Have you observed that, Caitlin? You won't believe how some WNBA players are reacting to this arrangement that could change the game. Stay tuned as we dive into the drama, which includes A.A. Wilson's response that is appending women's basketball. Clark just broke the endorsement game instead of just signing a contract, while Clark is making significant strides. This is where things start to get truly fascinating.
In what way? What does she sell out tens of thousands of Wilson basketballs in 40 minutes? I mean, what has A'ja Wilson done to say that she is worth every penny and then some?
Wilson and Hai have teamed up to release Caitlin Clark basketballs in vibrant purple and yellow. The Dreamer and Tribute editions will arrive in time for the holidays, making them the perfect gift for fans. This creative collaboration, along with eye-catching advertisements, has everyone talking.
Here, they just had this go, and this is the Hy-Vee Instagram account. Again, Wilson, Caitlin Clark, really smart, very cool video, lots of smiling faces.
Nike made a mistake, but Wilson's ability to recognize talent is evident in this $13 billion deal. When Wilson saw Caitlin, he took a risk that changed the course of events. Let's go back to the time when Wilson signed Clark to see his early promise. It was a very smart move.
Just did something nobody has done since Michael Jordan. Wilson Sporting Goods signed the WNBA star to a multi-year deal. She's the first female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson, and it will be built similar to Jordan's collection in the 1980s that included those signature.
Wilson's purchase of CIN. They took a significant risk by doing something they had only ever done once with Michael Jordan, and Clark is a game changer. Caitlin Clark is who? Wilson had lately changed women's sports, and as soon as the agreement was made public, social media went crazy and everyone was talking about it.
Only athlete to have a signature basketball with Wilson other than Michael freaking Jordan. Wilson's head of global partnership said, "We haven't done a deal of this magnitude since we did one with Michael Jordan 30 to 40 years."
Following the release of Clark's first basketball, it sold out in a matter of minutes, meaning that tens of thousands of basketballs were gone in an instant. This is historic because Caitlin Clark is now only the second athlete in history to own a Wilson signature basketball, joining the ranks of.
I don't know that I can name an athlete in recent memory that is sold at this level. And there's the key, folks. Caitlin Clark moves products. Caitlin Clark moves merchandise. And here's what I was talking about too. They mentioned it here. Where in September, Wilson dropped the first Clark-inspired basketball. It sold out in under 40 minutes. Tens of thousands of basketballs snapped up almost.
Wilson is making a big bet on Clark, and so far it is paying off, even though they have fantastic plans for her to see something in her that they haven't seen before: her star power, her brilliance on the court, and her ability to interact with fans and make sales.
Wilson, I think we all really appreciate what Wilson has done. They seem to be the only business, the only entity that has taken Caitlin Clark at face value for what and who she is and the opportunities that can bring. Fully, completely embraced her, been great with their marketing. Product drops, I mean, I don't even know how many different basketballs now, but they've made multiple product drops with, limited quantity, I guess you could say. They're sold out right away. They keep.
In addition to changing the game on the court, Clark Park is also changing it in boardrooms and marketing conferences throughout the sports industry. What is the significance of this seismic shift for women's sports companies? Their perceptions of female athletes, their marketing strategies to sports fans, and their appreciation of women's sports in general are all changing.
Apparently all of her basketballs or collabs that she's done
Yeah.
sold out pretty quick.
This Wilson deal is only the beginning. Are you ready to see what happens next with a $13 billion alliance? Wilson and Clark are going to take things to the next level, and their impact on women's sports will be profound. Caitlin Clark recently made a big move, but here's the twist: rather than signing a personal contract, she got Wilson and the Midwest supermarket giant together to append women's sports.
Lands $13 billion brand collab as WNBA stars bond with Wilson grows deeper. And that's the cool part, man. Shout out to Wilson.
You may be thinking of a chain of supermarkets, but they are a retail powerhouse that is concentrating all of its efforts on breaking down the $13 billion deal. Instead of just putting Caitlin Clark's name on a cereal box, they are creating something wholly unique and intriguing.
Collaboration with supermarket chain Hy-Vee. They rake in more than $13 billion annually huge company just in time.
This is where the exciting part starts. He is releasing exclusive limited edition basketballs, and guess who's back in the mix? These balls are called the Clark Dreams and tribute Wilson basketballs because they resemble Clark off the court. Wilson and Hay are creating a kind of super team.
This is Hy-Vee has announced an exclusive, yeah, that's right, an exclusive drop of Caitlin Clark's Dreamer and tribute Wilson basketballs. Very cool. Big deal. Good job, Wilson. You know they probably went and put this together. I mean, maybe Hy-Vee contacted Caitlin Clark first, but, you know, this is probably something, the type of thing.
Wilson, this is the kind of thing, but why is it so important? It has to do with what it means for women's sports marketing going forward. This type of partnership is unprecedented, setting a new standard for how female athletes collaborate with big businesses. Keep in mind that they have supported Caitlin Clark at every step of the way, showing their commitment to her journey from the start. You may remember their donation to the Caitlin Clark Foundation during her time in Iowa.
Get this, Hy-Vee says it's making a donation to the Caitlin Clark Foundation in honor of her record. $35,690 will be donated. In Clark's basketball career, she's scored 3,569 points to beat the old record.
Not only does Clark sign a contract, but she also contributes to the production of products that communicate her story. Wilson asserts that each ball represents a distinct stage in Clark's. Her journey from her time at Iowa to her ascent to fame in the WNBA makes sense since building a brand is more crucial than marketing. According to Sport Pro, she is the fourth most marketable athlete in the world.
Caitlin Clark, LeBron James at 3, Vinicius Jr., who is a Brazilian soccer star, and number 1 being Simone Biles. As you can see, Caitlin Clark is the only WNBA player in the top 10, and she's actually the only WNBA player in the top 20.
Wilson and Hive are rooting for Clark, but what about Nike? You would think they would be all over this by now, but this is where things start to get interesting. It seems amazing that Nike signed Clark to a $28 million contract, but the sports giant has not responded, leaving fans to wonder where the WNBA players' reactions are. The large marketing effort and the jerseys for Clark shoes were
strengthening the partnerships she's already built. From basketballs flying off shelves to multi-million-dollar endorsements, CC is at the forefront of athlete.
In the fast-paced world of sports marketing, Clark's fame isn't exactly a secret. Every day that Nike fails to capitalize on Clark's star power, fans are willing to purchase, but Nike isn't selling, despite the fact that her jersey sales have soared by 500%.
WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. And we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
Experts in the IND business are also perplexed. They claim that Nike ought to be putting Clark's image on billboards, introducing shoe lines, and other initiatives, but instead they seem to have put her on the sidelines.
Yeah, where is Caitlin Clark's shoe? Jersey sales skyrocketed by 500% this season. Where's the shoe, folks? Where?
According to a recent rumor, Nike wants to prioritize A.A. Wilson over Caitlin Clark, but that isn't practical from a marketability perspective because it's clear that Caitlin Clark is superior to A.A. Wilson.
Where's the shoe, folks? Where is it? Paige Becker recently landed her own signature shoe. Crappy shoe, but she got one. And yeah, you're right. Vocal. Of course. Why not? We should be vocal. Absolutely ridiculous.
Here's where things get really crazy. Wilson sells out basketballs in a matter of minutes, demonstrating that Nike realizes Clark's value, while other companies are introducing unique items.
Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the 3rd time. We have talked about this multiple times on my channel. Is A'ja Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be.
Clark is proving that women's sports can bring in a sizable sum of money, but it seems like everyone is currently benefiting from this, with the exception of Nike. What's the issue? Is Nike making a huge mistake with the biggest brand in women's basketball, or do they know something we don't?
Absolute and utter embarrassment. Nike should be shut down simply out of shame for the way they have treated.
Can you imagine yourself in Nike's boardroom right now? The tale isn't over yet, and in what seems to be a response to Caitlin Clark's sensational new deal, Impact on Women's Sports has the sexiest basketball player, but they're not using her. It would be like owning a Ferrari and keeping it in the garage. Fans believe that ENVAA Wilson's announcement of a 6-year contract extension with Nike is driven by jealousy, and many question whether this deal can truly compete with Clark's unparalleled market dominance.